Hello again, Chris Wallace. Glad to be your host here at the Crossroads. Mark Schafale is with the Felician Sisters of Hope, a watchman on the walls financially, and an experienced financial professional, a devout follower of the faith, and a tremendous giver. Thank you so much for all the great work that you do.
Just doing what's mine to do.
One of the ways that people can give, normally we think about generosity. We think about writing a check, dig into our pocket, putting the change or 2 mites in the envelope, or nowadays people taking out their smartphone. What are some other ways that you have discovered that people can give efficiently and effectively to change lives?
So my wife Lisa and I have been using donor-advised funds for a number of years, and we sort of stumbled on the concept. I'm an accountant by training, so income tax efficiency is something I think about probably more than other people do. And there was a time in my professional career where some of the equity-based compensation tended to kind of come in big lumps at a time, and I'd been tithing my income and giving out sort of ratably, and suddenly I found myself with a large amount of charitable money to give away in 1 year, and it didn't seem necessarily wise to give it in a way that wasn't sustainable. So a donor-advised fund is a non-for-profit foundation where a donor puts money in, you get a tax deduction up front. You lose any legal control over any right or legal control over it at that point. But the fund is set up to donate to the organizations that the donor recommends they donate to.
Organizations like Food for the Poor. Right?
Organizations like Food for the Poor. But so Fidelity, the major investment brokerage firm, we had some of our money there, and Fidelity had a very efficient and low-cost donor-advised fund where we could put a lot of money in at one time, and then we could recommend grants out for as little as $100 or as big as your account will allow. They invested in the stock and bond markets, and as we direct it, or as we recommend, if you will, they invested on our behalf, so it grows over time, and then we can spread the benefit of it out. So at the Felician Sisters of North America, I help them manage their investments in an endowment sort of way. This is a way for Lisa and I to manage our philanthropy in a very structured way. So we can put money in and decide who to give it to and how to disperse it later. So when an earthquake or a hurricane comes along, we already have money set up that can respond to that.
It's already there.
It's already there.
Wow. Now, is this just for captains of industry and millionaires and people who own multi-million-dollar businesses?
I believe it is not. So I did a little thinking about, could I set up my own private foundation? And because of the legal and tax accounting costs, that is probably for the really rich folks. But something like the Fidelity Fund is available for people who are investing in it, in the Fidelity program already. And I don't know the minimum amounts offhand, but they're fairly low. So they're in reach of maybe a lot more people than would imagine. And Fidelity's not the only one. Most of the major investment shops have that. It's a wonderful service to their investors who want to be philanthropic and want to be tax efficient about it. And I would also say we've been doing this for many years, but the most recent tax law changes that have increased the standard deduction so that a lot of people don't itemize every year. There's a new strategy that if you give a lot of money in 1 year and a little less money in another year, you get a better tax answer.
Okay.
You can you're loading up all your deductions in 1 year, so to speak. A donor-advised fund is a really powerful tool to do that with.
So they could give to the Felician Sisters one year, give a really big amount of food for the poor the next year, and we'll do more work together. It's just a suggestion.
Certainly a suggestion I have no problems with.
Right. If you'd like to find out more about how you can help, go to our website at foodforthepoor.org. There are so many ways that you can give and lend a hand. We're talking about the types of funds that are already there before the next earthquake, before the next hurricane, to stand in the middle of slow disasters, literally you standing in between the life and death of a child. Foodforthepoor.org, and find out many ways that you can help. Mark Schafale of the Felician Sisters of Hope, and a very generous donor to Food for the Poor, is with us. Anyone who wants to give or considers giving to an organization like Food for the Poor, the Sisters, they ask this one question: is my gift really making a difference? Your answer to that?
I think every gift makes a difference. An efficient organization, every additional dollar they get is more good they can do. And I also, even though I'm a financial and a quantitative, numbers-oriented person, the size of the gift isn't as important as the heart of the gift. And I think about the gospel story of the widow and her 2 coins being larger than all the rich Pharisees or whoever was putting in the money. And I think it is so important for each of us to give as we're able to give. And it's rewarding to us, at least as rewarding for us as it is needed by the organizations that count on that support.
And it has been your profession over the last few decades to really scrutinize the work. What will you tell someone about what you've seen and the difference that you've seen make in your gift and the giving of others?
Without privately funded charities, there are so many needs in the world that would just never be met. And the Felician Sisters address many of those needs. Food for the Poor addresses many of those needs. And without the support of donors, that just doesn't happen.
Amen. Well, thank you for being one of them. And thank you, Mark Schafale of the Felician Sisters of Hope, encouraging you to take that leap of faith. Go to our website at foodforthepoor.org. Over 35 years in Haiti, as well as nearly 40 years all across Latin America and the Caribbean, doing great work that doesn't happen without you. And it hasn't happened without you, Brother Mark. Thank you so much for meeting us here at the Crossroads today.
You're welcome.
All right. God bless you. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel right here. And we'll see you right here next time at the Crossroads. I'm Chris Wallace. God bless you.
At the Crossroads is a production of Food for the Poor, united in God's work.